Alright guys, Cetruba here, back again today, and a few things to discuss this morning and, well, this evening, or whenever the hell you're watching this. And yeah, so some interesting things. We'll get into it today. The CWL All-Star match at CWL Miami, don't know why I said all those CWLs, has been announced, and we're going to go through the potential players that could be on the teams. Also, some other interesting news, more team confirmations pre-CWL Miami, so therefore in the coming days, I will at some point go over the teams that I expect to be getting out of the top 16 at Miami because, well, what I'm talking about here is the amateur section. If you come top 16 at Miami, you qualify for champs, so of course that's what a lot of these teams are attempting to do, but of course you can win a hell of a lot of money as well if you do put up a good performance at Miami and get towards the upper echelons of the performances. So, like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you're new as always, I would greatly appreciate it, and let's hop into this real quick. So, first of all, our CoD Competitive, the subreddit for competitive Call of Duty, is looking for a new moderator, preferably North American West Coast. So if that applies to you and you're interested in being a moderator of the subreddit, I'm sure some of you guys might be interested, then feel free to go to the link down in the description box below and consider your application because, you know, these opportunities don't come along too often. It could be a nice stepping stone to do some stuff in esports because that's what a lot of these things have been for current and prior moderators. So interesting, and I hope you guys, some of you guys will consider it. So moving onwards here, Temp continues his rampage. LMAO, I'm in disbelief. Did I even say that right? I think I did. That a 93 player card is the highlight of your CoD career. This has got to be hung up on your wall. Fool's dad is screenshotting KD ratios. Now the funny thing is, this isn't even Brack's dad. It's actually a completely different account to Brack's actual dad. This is just some social media guy, I think. But still, tempted to follow up, but pretty much nothing else too much said on this, and it seems to have been brushed under the rug. But thanks for all your comments on yesterday's video, because it's a pretty interesting scenario, really. And okay, so moving onwards here, we have this, which is kind of interesting. I could put the clip on screen, but it doesn't really say too much other than just like in the World War II days, when Methods was being considered to be dropped on the team from Rise Nation. So of course they had that squad with Looney, TJ, Gunless and Methods, which won the CWL Atlanta, and then following stage 1, then, you know, they got rid of Methods and they brought in Slasher to then win 2 more championships at, well, they won Anaheim and did they win Seattle? Yeah, they won Seattle as well. So obviously a very dominant team last year. They are one of the dominant forces of the year alongside Team Caliber. Interestingly, Method says that even Formal reached out to join Rise. Of course, this would have been when he was on OpTic Gaming. So instead of going to Luminosity, he could have ended up going to Rise Nation alongside Gunless then, and Looney and TJ as well. So this would have been obviously a very scary team, and especially if Looney could have got the kind of performances that JCap ended up getting out of Formal when it came to the World Championship, because I don't know if you guys remember World Champs last year, LG only came, like, I believe top 6 at the World Championship, but it was truly incredible. The fact that Formal had like a 1.4 KD or something at the World Championship last year, truly remarkable figures, and JCap really got some crazy performances out of him. So if Looney could have done the same and this team would have stuck, it would have been an interesting thing to see. So I'd be interested on your thoughts on this potential team down in the comment section below. I don't think they would have won any more tournaments than they did with Slasher, say, but you know, who knows? Of course, they did have that blip at the World Championship with the top 16. Maybe the vibes of Formal, maybe something like that might have been better, but interesting to see that Formal could have potentially had another couple of chips under his belt if he did join this squad, because it probably would have been a championship winner, I would say, rather than having to wait for this year's Fort Worth to get his first championship victory off the OpTic Gaming since he's left the OpTic Gaming team. So moving onwards, couple more things to discuss. We have a couple of team announcements. So firstly, Sicario Gaming. This is a team that's been rumoured for a while. Tommy, Chino, Exceed, Proto and Byron Linney. So Tommy is going to be on the Maddox alongside Linney. Sheen is going to be the main assault rifle, and then Proto and Exceed are the cracked out SMGs. And this honestly is a pretty damn nice team on paper. I like the look of it. I don't know too much about Linny, but if Tommy has faith in him, then he's probably going to be a great player at some point, because, you know what, Tommy had faith in those guys last year on, you know, Vitality, the likes of Chain, Maple, and Krezza. They came top 12 at Champs. So, Denza is what I meant instead of Krezza, sorry. Definitely an interesting team. I hope they will do something special. I reckon they will qualify for championships, for the World Championships, no problem. Should be good enough team on paper. Whether they can mix things up at Champs is yet to be seen, but Exceed, obviously, and Linny are both really unknown quantities, so I'm going to be intrigued to see how they perform over the coming, over the coming days, really, because Miami is only just over a week away from us. Now, we have this announcement as well from Pharaoh. So, Pharaoh supposedly was going to be teaming with the likes of Jetly and Parzellion, I thought, but things have changed. He's now going to be teaming with Shotzzy, which I think is going to be a good call, because I'm pretty sure that Shotzzy was dropped for Fellow at some point, but either Pharaoh has left that team or has been removed from that team, and he's going to be playing with Shotzzy, which I think is probably a good idea. This kid has crazy talent. There's no other way to look at it. Now, I've heard of Spart, and the other guys I don't really know too well. So if you guys have any ideas who, Tesky and Pacer are particularly, leave them in the comment section below. If you guys think these are particularly talented players, I'm sure Pharaoh must do to be teaming with them. But very interesting squad. I suppose there should be a fair bit of talent on this team, but whether they'll be able to do anything, I can't say I have an incredible amount of faith, but I'm very interested to see how Shotzzy can perform when it goes to a LAN environment. So moving onwards here to the CWL All-Star matches. So these are the Pro League playoffs, and this is the bracket. So we have Heretics, Reciprocity, the initial teams that will play the play-in. Then OpTic Gaming, 100 Thieves FaZe, E-United, Gen.G Spice. So these are the only two confirmed matches so far, and at some point on the weekend there will be some sort of All-Star match, which we've had in the past at these playoff events, or I think in the past we usually tend to have them at Anaheim, but he's going to have them at Miami here. So, of course, every single team of these 8, there will, as we said, be 10 teams that technically qualify, because all the other 8 can play into this play-in bracket, which we've gone through in the past. Interestingly, Units are playing Luminosity in the very first round. Rated was saying how his, obviously it doesn't really mean much, but Rated was saying that his teamwork in his current team is spectacular, because of course we've got Cammy, Weeman, and Nolson on that team alongside Rated and Joe. He reckons that their respawn is just disgusting, and, if they could beat LG, that would be it'd be remarkable. And if they don't, then, well, they've got to wait until the World Championships to add another shot, pretty much. So, tough, but that is how it is. So anyway, all of these teams had a poll go out yesterday on Twitter for people to decide who was going to be their all-star. So you guys can feel free to vote on this. I'll leave a link to the Call of Duty World League Twitter account down below, so you guys can feel free to go through them. So firstly, we had Team Heretics. Lucky has not yet been he's currently the runaway leader with 5 days left. There's plenty of time still to vote on these. Plenty of time. But 17,000 votes in so far, and Lucky is leading up the voting. Metals with 37, with only 7%, which is kind of surprising. I voted for Lucky just because, he'll be on the sniper. But Metals is definitely an exciting player to look at as well. So is Journey. So I thought that was interesting. Now, of course, one thing here is they can't put the entire team, because Twitter polls, you can only do 4 people. So they had to just exclude Vortex. I don't know if they did it randomly or what they did. But there were some players in the next seconds here, as we can see in Dashy on OpTic Gaming. Scump was never even here for consideration. And obviously it is pretty damn exciting to put all of these stacked rosters together. I might do another video in a few days time talking about, the God Squad for Black Ops 4 once again. I did a video on it earlier in the title, but now things have changed. We've had guys like Dylan and Simp come into the mix that probably take the cake from some of the players that we'd have considered earlier in the game. Interestingly here though, there's currently only 8 polls out for the teams that have definitely qualified. I wonder whether for the other 2 play-in teams that qualify, they will also do it, because of course they need a 5 versus 5 rather than a 4v4. So they'll need the teams that qualify to also have their all-star player designated, so they can put together the all-star game, which may well be on the Sunday is what I'm guessing, but possibly Saturday or something like that. So of course everyone's going to pick Dashy from OpTic Gaming, definitely the most exciting player to watch on this team. Then moving onwards, we have Splice, who I haven't actually voted for yet. All of these players are pretty damn fun to watch. Do I go Hook? Do I go Temp? or do I even go Jerd? It's a tough one to call. I think people will probably go Hoog just for the entertainment factor. He'll probably say something entertaining, and definitely if they go for a listening or something, that would be good. So yeah, everyone thinks Temp as well. Moving onwards to Gen.G, so these are the 4 players we get an option to choose from here. So in Splice, we didn't get an option to choose Looney. Here, we don't get an option to choose, who am I missing? Well, Nagafen's back in the team now, right? And he's not here, so I guess that's the squad. I probably would say Envoy is the most fun to watch. He's just disgusting, but to be honest, all these guys are pretty damn fun to watch. So especially Havoc and Maniac. Maybe Havoc's even the most fun to watch. I know that people will probably have chosen Envoy, so I'll just go for that to try and be correct. Yeah, so well done me. And yeah, so I'd be interested to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. If you want to try and change these around and begin the resurgence for one of your favourite players, then feel free to do so. And we have this for me, United, so I chose Simp again because, yeah, on this one, unfortunately, Priestahh was the one to get eliminated. This is obviously why 5v5 is inferior for Call of Duty, because you can't do polls with 5 players. So definitely we should go back to 4v4. But anyway, so yeah, Simp ends up taking the victory over Clayster. Well, not necessarily confirmed yet. Possible if Clayster did a load of retweets, then they might choose him. But, you know, people want to see Simp, right? They want to see these incredibly stacked lineups. And we've got some hell of a good talent. Like, let's have a look at these teams. Temp, you know, Envoy, Dashy, Lucky. And then, alright, so we got FaZe Clan. I guess people are going to have voted Scraps on this one. Probably the most entertaining lad on this team. So we can have Scraps on the team, also very talented player. Then 100 Thieves. Ooh, who would people have gone for here? This is a tough one, because none of these guys are particular fan favourites, apart from maybe Octane. Priestahh might be the most fun to watch. I'd say people have chosen Octane. Yeah, okay, they have. So I guess that makes sense, because he was on OpTic Gaming, of course, and people seem to like him on the whole. The rest of the team is kind of like, people like them, but they're not like, they're kind of still villain figures within the scene to some degree, you know. It's kind of exciting. But yeah, so Octane on a team as well is going to be filthy. Of course, these teams do need an AR at some point. And then, of course, Dylan from Rogowski was the other man chosen. So, exciting stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you're new as always. And actually, before I leave you, there is one more thing to discuss here, which is what CodBurner put out on his CodBurner Reddit last night. He said the following: I've heard from people the new franchises are going to be in Detroit, Miami, and Seattle. I don't know why the reporters didn't post the pics I sent to them about CWL next year. So does anyone know where I can put them where they won't get taken down again? Sorry I'm not posting more recently because there's been nothing new much and Activision got salty, lol. I hope the reporters would have posted it before. So anyway, the main thing from this is Detroit, Miami, and Seattle being the next franchises. So, of course, there's 7 spots right now. There's apparently going to be 12 teams total, which means if Detroit, Miami, and Seattle are the next 3, that gets me kind of worried for the state of Europe, because right now there's only Paris that has a spot. Is there going to be London? Is there going to be Barcelona? I don't know, but if the next 3 are all going to be in the States as well, then I would, well, I'm skeptical that we're going to have a great year ahead for our scene, and we'll just have to see. So I'll go on to this in more detail in the coming days, but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I will see you next time.